Hello. So last night I was in Ottawa at a farm incubator called Just Food. And Ottawa's interesting because it contains a greenbelt. It's outgrown its greenbelt. Um, but the greenbelt is a strip of farmland around Ottawa it's intended to feed Ottawa. It's intended to be farmland for Ottawa. And that makes it a bit different in terms of getting access to that land from, I guess, most places because it's government run. Ottawa government run? Who would have thought? Anyway, so that made for an interesting discussion because most of my complaints around access to land and the cost of land come from just letting the free market run wild and, well, farmers can't afford it on the free market. But the Greenbelt isn't a free market. It is run by a government corporation, and it's still kind of a problem. I guess the complaint that I had from Just Food is they're small farmers, and most of the greenbelt land is quote unquote corn and soy from big farmers. And I don't know, to some extent they have a point. Corn and soy are not really feeding Ottawa. They might be feeding animals that are feeding Ottawa, but most of it's just going out on the export market, which to me kind of defeats the purpose of having a green belt. So that was an interesting lesson for me that you can complain about the free market or whatever you like, but what we really have to do is come up with an actual alternative, and this is where our discussion kind of started to break down. I posed the question to the crowd: okay, how should we decide who gets to access land? How should we decide which farmers ultimately are the farmers that are growing that food? We had a couple attempts, but people kind of wandered off and talked about other things. So I still have that question, and I guess I wonder if any of you out there can answer it. What if you're not going to do the free market? If supposedly the government is going to decide which farmers get access to land, how should we choose which farmers? Anyway, I am headed down to Eden Mills, just outside Guelph, for the next one, and I'll be kicking around southern Ontario for the next 2 weeks.